said, you know what, you obviously cannot help you. You want to check yourself. You have to stay with that list, because not everyone knows. It's what you're going to get from every factory location is ROTHSCHILD. You already look your bar? No, they might drop your shoes. Don't have to worry about that anymore. Exactly, because the robots aren't that big for us. Over the past month, McDonald's has launched locations in Fort Worth, Texas, Denver, Colorado, and Las Vegas with 0 employees. It is 100% automated. Now, I can envision a kiosk. It's almost like a big vending machine. Yeah, you put in what you want. Obviously, you can swipe your card or what have you. In some locations, they can take count. So you can do that. You can look like, I understand that. So, yeah, I go to it all card operated. You would have to swipe your card and you can tap your card. I would to one, and that's what there are no cost accessible. So if you go there, you type in your order on a screen, and there's just one person that really is people cooking, and one person is bringing the food up and putting it on the counter. Right there, like this. You put the kitchen, so you get it on the counter. I have to wonder if there are 0 employees, if they're all 100% takeout. It's not because who's cleaning up the restaurant. You know, if obviously if someone's eating there or leaving their food there, the container there, or just, you know, trash people as they would be known to do. Who cleans up? Yeah, and who cleans up? Anyway, even if there is no dining room. Well, it's probably some sort of maintenance staff that makes things come through at night or whatever, but I'm quite sure it's not like an employee in the traditional sense where they're actually working with the public. It's not public facing. Yeah, there has to be some of these restocking the place. Yeah, people do that in the morning. You come in, load up a number of patties, slices, cheese, coffee, triple bar type stuff, and put them into the proper dispenser, and you're done for the day. Now, I wonder how sophisticated this can work, or I should say how they even even out how much food that they would need given day. So, well, I guess it wouldn't matter with all the produce. I mean, look, this is the trade I have to figure out. If they perfect this, which I'm sure they will, like only 3 locations and do the database to see how much traffic is being handled. After that, you can go. And if food comes out on conveyor. Yeah. I mean, I would expect that. And I think on top, this is going to be the future. This is not going to be, let's see how well it works and maybe it will catch on. No, this is the future. It will work out the truth. Or some other franchise or some other food establishment will do it better. But this is where everyone is going. Now, I'm not saying that this is a direct result of the price of $15 an hour. I think this is the direct result of capitalism, where the goal has always been to limit costs, to minimize overhead. Well, I don't know about that because I don't know if the technology is ready. I think this is going to happen no matter what. If you give the business the opportunity or the option to not have any employees, I don't think it would matter if minimum wage is $2 an hour. But if you have the option of going $0, if you don't have to pay taxes, if you don't have to pay for benefits, if you don't have to worry about the employee killing you or one on disability, then I think any employee would take that option having nothing to do with minimum wage. I think it was always going to be here. It's just a matter of whether the technology was ready to facilitate it. Yes, I've heard the argument, well, if you ask for $15 an hour, it's going to push to this. I don't think the minimum wage is $13.50 an hour as opposed to $15 an hour was the dividing line. I think greed is greed and revenue is revenue, and if you can minimize expenses, then that's what a business will do. And here we are, and we're not going back. Just like every other time in history, some jobs just go away. Now, here's the point before. We don't have long-distance operators. We don't have elevator operators. We don't have traffic signal operators. There's some jobs which eventually become automated and never come back. And I think the idea of a cashier in a cashless society, more especially, just has no place anymore. There's no place for it. And these jobs, minimum wage, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, they're just not going to have a place in our commerce and business transactions 10 years from now, maybe less. Let's find out what's in your horoscope. And do we have any succession fans out there? Yes, I'm one. Yeah, but I'm late to the party. I just finished season 1 last night. What? Then you can talk about what happened in season 3, episode 3? No, season 4. Season 4. Season 4, episode 3? I've been hearing about it. I've been ducking on spoilers, but, in vain. But we kind of talk about what zodiac sign you would be relative. I should say what succession character you would be relative to your zodiac sign. Let's connect that. If I answer for the live everywhere, I got radio app now, so anything. Commerce against the SAG after health plan. The class action lawsuit claimed the health plan discriminated against older members. The $15 million settlement was approved. The plan would pay older performers who lost coverage due to eligibility changes. U.S. Senator Richard Blumenthal is expected to be discharged from the hospital after having surgery. He had to have a pin put into his leg after he fractured it during the first race of the national champion University of Connecticut men's basketball team over the weekend. Former Mad Magazine cartoonist Al Jaffe has died. He was one of the magazine's longest contributors. He first started drawing for Mad in 1964. Super veggies and fruit to support your dog's health and happiness. Save 54% and receive free dog treats. Text balance to 511-511. Text balance to 511-511 today. Order rates may apply. This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive commercial insurance can protect your small business with over 30 cover shops. Increasing unit roll-offs, personalized discounts, and more. Get close to the video in 6 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Discounts and cover selections not available in all states and situations. iHeart Podcast is excited to welcome Jay Shetty to the iHeart family. Tune into On Surface with Jay Shetty, the hit podcast where the former mom shares fascinating conversations with insightful people and investigates ways to live life today on purpose. Cycle in the lead. When is the last time you just started with your partner? We're used to watching them do the same things, do the same activities. Let's do them deep less than years. Listen to On Purpose with Jay Shetty on the iHeart Radio or wherever you get your podcast. U.S. fingerprints never wasn't customer satisfaction with retail banking in California by JD Powers. Since California has come to most awards shows, please prepare to thank you too. Californians everywhere we for college and healthy plan, budget, and stay smarter. Our goal tracking and budgeting tools would have no place to sign if it weren't for you, and we into enough for that. So thank you to our real life teammates who go above and beyond for our customers every day. For JD Power 2023 award information, visit jdpower.com/award. Member FDIC. You locked your head up the street? Yeah, it's very up there. We scared to come down. Hang on, I'll go and figure. We can't so much stuff. That's good. Here you go. Where did you come from? And where is your mouth and coat? What? Oh, no, your mom and dad called us to clean out your shower drain. What? They were on the street too. What? Your drain was really clogged, backing up, and we have to stop that nasty stuff from invading your bathroom. So you're a try to be every day. We're River Heroes. Wow. We make sure you live in a safe, clean house. Go on. Thanks for asking, guys. It's what a hero does. If you know how to clog things, how is Jacoby Myers will protect your rights if they can be good. Trust Jacoby Myers insurance company, Jacoby Myers today. Jacoby Myers, justice for you since 1972. I've been a small business person my entire adult life, and over the years, several HR persons I've gotten noticed. I could never afford an HR person, but there's an answer, Sandy.com. And with Sandy, you get an HR person starting at just $99 per month. I thought this was too good to be true. This is real. Sandy helps you deal with your HR problems, like writing HR policies, sexual harassment training, hostile work environment, termination. That was my problem. People complaining about other employees, all putting you and your business at risk. With Sandy, you get access to your own HR manager available by phone, email, real-time chat. Go to Sandy.com, type in KFI under the radio drop-down when you sign up. Sandy.com, that's KFI BFI under the radio dropdown, credit please, spelled BAM, B-E-E, that's BAM, B-E-E, that's BAMB.com. So it's that guy across when he started joking about what I do. My first day train was here, and so what I got my phone and video like everybody else. Live 9 to 1 p.m. on KLI. On KLI. And on demand anytime on the iHeartRadio app. On the iHeartRadio app. What special character are you based on your zodiac sign? Aries. If you're Aries, you're Roman Roy. He's my favorite character. Sending D-pics to his dad, shooting off the mouth, campaigning for a controversial candidate, proposing to a woman after knowing her for a week. That was in season 1, I saw that. Providing me a constant comic relief. If you're an Aries, you are Roman Roy. Taurus. You're Kendall Roy. Kendall Roy's birthday is given as May 2nd, 1981, making him a tough but tender for his son. Like most Taurians, it takes a lot to put him out of his classic pasture, but once he's there, it's all horn, hellfire, and IGGF press conferences. I disagree. I think he's weak. I think he's really weak. Gemini. Greg Hurst. I have to say, Greg Hurst is my least favorite character. Nothing against the actor, I just don't like the character. You don't like Greg? I don't like him at all. Greg, I don't like him, but I think he's going to end up ruling the Empire when all said and done. I do. I think that they're setting it up for that. From puking in a mascot costume to Black Water with the best of them, Gemini Great age is nothing but not a man of multitudes. Gemini is ruled by Mercury's plan of communication and exchange. In time, natives are masters at manipulating language and leveraging information, and Greg fits the bill. Cancer, you are Gary Kelman, the old CFO. Cancer is ruled by the moon and associated with root systems, caretaking, and defense dynamics. While Gary is just as driven as the other players on the show, he is arguably the least destructive, most nurturing force among them, making her the clear cancer of the bunch. Add to this that Cancer represents the mother archetype, and Robin repeatedly projects his Oedipal fantasy onto Gary. Yeah, there's a lot of strangeness in Roman. And you watch this company, correct? Is Roman's real name Romulus? Is it Roman? Because I've heard him referred to as a bunch of names. No, it's Roman. Roman? Okay, because I know that Logan refers to him as Romulus. Oh, that's not cool, his first name. But, okay. Okay. Leo is Conroy in the movie Ferris Bueller's Day Off. He played Cameron. Leo Conroy, in his bid for presidency, Ricky Conroy, seeking the attention of the nation to assuage his pain of not being loved by his father, the strange, telltale hunger of a wounded lion. Predisposed to frivolity, fanaticism, and psychotherapy attract to the Leo-like honor, which spent a cool $500,000 on Napoleon's first severed beast. What would it be if you can't be ridiculous? Virgo is scary with a K. Recently promoted from assistant to mistress, Scary is an unmistakable Virgo. For evidence, yet no further than her show, her slow and steady ascent, severe haircut, and heavy observation. Virgo rules the 6th house of daily habits, and natives are inclined to be self-conscious, and Scary is no exception. Why is Scary is that? I think so. I can't remember I may not have been covered yet. It is just me, and I am catching up on the session. I'm just through season 1. I'm starting season 2 tonight. Yes, I know it's season 4, but I'm enjoying being able to binge. The characters I really love, like Roman, the characters I can't stand, like Gray. But Logan Roy is the truth, and I love how he stays at least 2 steps ahead of everyone in his family. You are Logan Roy. The show reveals Logan Roy's birthday is October 14, 1938, making him a Libra, and coincidentally the birthday parent of Dwight D. Eisenhower. Libra is ruled by Venus, the planet of aesthetics and assets, and the people of the scale can be cutthroat in their pursuit and procurement of wealth. That's right. Scorpio, get it wrong. And while Tom is the husband of Jeff, Scorpios come to win and align themselves always and ever with the most powerful players to ensure their own survival. Tom sees his tracks inside in his ruthless betrayal at the end of season 3. Scorpio rules the 8th house of sex, death, secrets, and other people's money. And Tom is absolutely calculating when it comes to hiding and hoarding sensitive information to the express purpose of a payday. Sagittarius, that's me. And I'm supposed to be Caroline Collingwood. I see that, absolutely. I'm definitely mom. Sagittarius folks put the brutal in brutally honest, inclined as they are to verbally legend without regard for feelings or fallout. Spot on. Fair Lady Caroline Collingwood is the lowest groomed, unfiltered matriarch of the royal clan. Her mutual fire, Caroline is quick with the burn, whether speculating on the longevity of her only daughter's marriage on her wedding day, bullying her son for his haircut or roasting her ex-husband for his lamentable love life. Yeah, that sounds like right. Capricorn, you're Martha Lloyd. If you know Martha, I think you might be Stevie in as well. She's diabolical. I like Martha. She is Stevie from all ends. Capricorn are concerned with fortifying foundations, building empires, securing assets, and getting to the top of whatever mountain they set out to conquer. This sign rules the 10th house of legacy and public image and egos are strategists inclined to keep their skeletons closeted and very long in the past. Well, we gotta start watching the show. Aquarius, you are Steve Roy. Ruled by Cat, Master Saturn, and Punk Rock Uranus, Aquarians are both unconditional and absolutely uncompromised. These two pillars may manifest in Logan's polarizing only daughter symbol. As a fixed air sign, Aquarius leans on logic and often struggles to respond to or empathize with the emotional nuance of others.
Nobody on that show empathizes with anybody. And
they're all sociopaths in different ways.
So I'm supposed to be good. That person's the next
But she's one of my favorite characters. She's awful, but she's less awful relative to everyone else. Okay, well, that's her awful. She's lost it. And Pisces, you're you and Roy. You and Roy, the empathetic older brother of more with Hancock Logan, is pure Pisces, truthful and concerned with the greater good. You and can't fight back and forth with his bigger brother. This is ever his compassion when he needs to deserve it. So I'm going to keep on watching Profession. I'm liking what I'm seeing. I'm not loving it yet, but I really do like it.
You can't love it. Everybody shows it horrible.
Very well. I can, I can,
Ryan Cochran,
but I understand he's got no, I understand. I do understand it.
We're going to go beyond the box for coming up next. It's radio with Mo Credit. Keep your shadow coming in. You haven't got it. Those are coming up next. Before you like it, radio app.
School workers have voted to approve a proposal by the district which offers 30% pay increases and improved benefits. SEIU Local 99 President Camaro Guerrero says this historic agreement will help people like himself who've been working for the district for decades.
So it's kind of hard to leave the situation start somewhere else. So there's wage increase, and I think it's going to attract more people to come work here.
Over 99% of union members voted in favor of the proposal like these, which now expected to move to the district for approval by April 18th. Thousands of school workers walked off the job last month for a 3-day strike, protesting the district's alleged unfair treatment. Daily violence at middle and high schools across the state is a lot lower than it was when I returned to a new study out of UCLA analyzed 18 years of data from the California Health System and found 56% reduction in school violence from 2001 to 2019. The report shows a 70% reduction in reports of guns on campus and a 68% decrease in other weapons but not during the time period. The study published in last month includes responsible for
so that was good. It wasn't.
To help to find a man who wrote hateful words on the Islamic Center
Sure.
of
So
Southern
we go on
California
someone's
building
YouTube
in
channel.
California.
Feature other artists. So now I'm waiting for someone doing like pay what taxes and also get some legitimization, like the most
Posted a photo of the guy who wrote on this building yesterday morning. The guy is white, about 5'9", with wearing all black clothing, in the jacket, and LA Border Patrol is part of it.
Police say men got killed at 5 people and injured others in Afghanistan, Kentucky. Was an employee at the Old National Bank and live streamed the shooting on Instagram. Louisville Metro Police Interim Chief Jacqueline ViralRabbi says among those hurt is a 20-year-old police officer, Nicholas Wills, who just graduated from the Police Academy March 31st.
I just want him in and his family was there to witness his journey to become a police officer. He was struck in the head.
And ViralRabbi says Wills has had brain surgery and is in critical condition. Police said the shooter was killed by police after exchanging gunfire with officers. The Justice Department has appealed a court ruling in Texas that would halt approval of the most commonly used method of abortion in the U.S. This divisive decision is extraordinary and unprecedented.
The DOJ argued that the district court's decision is unprecedented and that failure to halt the judge's ruling was not only undermining scientific research, but would also harm women relying on this abortion for medical reasons.
ABC Justin Finch says the government requested a stay on the decision or a stay pending appeal by noon Thursday. The pill, methylprednisolone, has been approved by the FDA and used across the country for more than 20 years. The Pentagon has sent the Department of Justice to investigate the highly classified leaked defense documents. White House spokesman John Kirby says officials have no idea who leaked the documents or how they got to social media.
It's in the out there too. That's the big one. And we're trying to figure out how that happened. And I'm sure that part of that, the timeline will be looked at as well.
Officials say dozens of classified files were published online in March. Some show how the U.S. and NATO. Dozens of classified files were published online in March. Some show how the U.S. and NATO were helping Ukraine and include information about training schedules, weapons, and maps of one of Ukraine's key cities. Officials say while the documents are no longer relevant, the speed at which the information is leaked is significant. Some little blue sailors have been invading the beaches of Southern California.
Tiny jellyfish-like creatures have been washing up on the shores of Huntington, Zuma, Manhattan, and Salt Lake beaches. But they look a lot like the poisonous Portuguese man-of-war. The experts say they are not poisonous and not jellyfish. They're called Varella, or by-the-wing sailors. This species is a cousin of the jellyfish. Scientists say they're mostly harmless to people, but can cause light skin irritation. Jennifer Jones, Lee, KFI News.
Southland weather from KFI, areas of low clouds and fog forming overnight and tomorrow morning. Lows in the upper 40s to mid-50s. Highs tomorrow in the upper 60s to mid-70s at the beaches, Metro LA and Mendocino. 70s to low 80s for the valleys, Inland Empire and Antelope Valley. Cooling down to 5 to 10 degrees less for Wednesday and Thursday before we get back into the 70s and 80s for the weekend. It's 50 in Brea, 69 Lake Forest, 53 in Marina Del Rey, 67 in Burbank. So cleared in Van Nuys on 405.
Before victory has been moved out of the possible lanes to the drive recovering from about Burbank Boulevard. And the 10 heading eastbound in Mid-City will start seeing traffic stacking up just after Robertson. It's going to be a slow crawl from there to Vermont Avenue. Between on the 15 north end of the to the town path. Just after Inwood, they were pretty busy until you get to the 138. KFI in the sky helps get you there faster. Now Pedro Moreno.
Imagine getting ahead of your irritable bowel syndrome, constipation, or IBS-C by treating it with ROTHSCHILD. Then you can start proactively managing your constipation at belly pain and get ahead of your symptoms.
I was always
Talk to your
going to
doctor
be
about
advocate of it,
ROTHSCHILD
so
or
I
Maxipad.
started to
And ROTHSCHILD is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a
but
life. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms.
exactly.
It's proven to help you avoid incomplete bowel movement and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms. Belly pain, constipation,
You gotta let
these
people know
symptoms
to do
are
it.
studied in
But if they
combination,
do,
not in isolation.
it's just hopefully it was done the up and up.
Remain harmless. Do not take ROTHSCHILD to deal with bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stool. The most common side effect is diarrhea. May have severe. If it's severe, stop taking ROTHSCHILD and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling.
Imagine what could relieve from IBS-C for you. Talk to your doctor and say yes.
Right.
Learn more at NIMSUP.com or call 1-800-LIMGBSF.
More stimulating talk.
I'm super for that though. I mean, like, what one company, what one company can control it? Like, if Amazon came in and was like, well, we don't want you to say that just this or something this, I can be like, okay, Amazon, it's freedom of speech in the United States, and I'm allowed to say it. You don't have to necessarily sponsor me. That's your prerogative.
Beyond the obstacle on what Jackie read.
Life sports and technology.
KFI AM 640. It's great with Los Kelly. We're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Joining me in the studio, as she always does, each and every Monday, is Jackie Ray, who is the Long Beach Post reporter and WNBA correspondent. Jackie, let me first take the evening to you. How are you?
I'm doing great. Shout out to the WNBA. Had their draft tonight.
Hey. Please talk about the intersection of sports and society.
Yes.
And usually I give you a headline and we go from there. I want to give you 3 headlines because there's an overarching thought process I want to work through with you. One headline is, Patriots owner Robert Kraft launches $25 million campaign to fight anti-Semitism. Next is, Donald Trump shows up at the UFC and is tweeted by FJC Camp. Let's go Brandon Camp. Great Popovich may be getting ready to retire. Use the last 10 minutes of his press conference to call for more gun control and call out the legislators around the country in regards to that. Here's the question. With your private economy sports and politics do not need or should not be intertwined. But in my review of history, there has never been a time in which sports and politics or social issues have not been commingled. Where do you come out on this?
I think, like you said, the sports and politics have always met because we, as a society, we put our celebrities and our athletes on a pedestal, so they've always met. When people don't like when they meet is when it's black. Full stop. There's no other way to say that. Robert Kraft saying, "Hey, I want to put the 25 million that I want to put towards anti-Semitism." That's a lot of money.
Let me jump in there. So you're saying they would have been perceived differently if you said 25 million towards BLM?
Yeah, if you would have said 25 million to underserved black communities, 25 million to help black people who are incarcerated for selling weed, now that they're profiting from it, 25 million to focus on getting these people out of jail and making sure they have a life when they get out. Anything that he would have focused $25 million on that had anything to do with black people who haven't received reparations from slavery as the Jewish people did from the Holocaust, anything with that would have been seen as, oh my God, why is he doing that? Just be a sports owner. Don't say anything. Because it's always when it's met with black that it's a problem.
Okay, let me put it this way. We saw that Donald Trump was photographed with Mike Tyson, Joe Rogan, and others at the UFC fight this weekend. He was roundly applauded and well received. I don't have any problem with that. I don't begrudge that. We know that there's a cozy relationship between Dana White and also the former president. And we know that the former president has been very outspoken about various individuals in sports, from LeBron James and others. It seems like that is okay, but not in reverse.
Yeah. And the thing is, when he got, and and the thing is, when he got for his mom's law, I know I always say his last name wrong, but first of all, there was never a time I've been so happy to see somebody get beat. I was very happy about that. But to see 45 Dana White, who by the way just got a slap on the wrist for smacking the hell out of his wife, right? If that had been a black player, they still would have been wrote. Because let's not forget, Dana White also has a zero tolerance policy for any fighters involved in any sort of domestic situation. 9 times out of 10, though, we just know what it is. You know what I mean? He's the same. Dana White's the same man that wouldn't shake Francis Ngannou's hand when he won the belt, because if he has an issue with a specific type, I'm not going to say all black people, but black people who challenge him, black people who call him out on his BS, he has a specific problem with these type of people, which is definitely a white supremacist issue. White supremacists will say, hey, well, you know, if you just get in line and do what we told you to do, everything will be fine. If you are okay with the Proud Boys, if you're okay with us saying, hey, we want to restrict voting rights in predominantly black neighborhoods in a way that we wouldn't do it in white neighborhoods, if you don't call out those types of things like redlining, then we're good with you.
Fair person and an objective person should be able to notice the difference. Greg Popovich has never been a fan of Donald Trump.
Ever.
He has been very vocal, very insulting in his dislike of Donald Trump.
He did a dislike.
But I've never heard anything negative said about Greg Popovich by Donald Trump.
Right.
If he has, I don't know of it.
I've never heard it.
I know that he's been very vocal in his dislike of LeBron James and others. You know, sports is the same league, and I know he's been very vocal about others that he's disliked in regard to NBA and their social involvement. Let me bring it back to the larger question. Since we know that sports and issues have always been commingled, are we moving in the right direction in the sense of, are we doing as much as we should with these platforms regardless of our politics, or are we missing the moment and not using the platforms in the way we should?
I think I'm going to give a shout out to the WNBA right now, because the WNBA to me is a model of how things should be done. They not only address social issues, political issues, they do it as a collective. It's one of those things that I said black people need to start doing. We need to move as a collective, because their movement as a collective has gotten things done. They've set trends that you wouldn't normally see set, especially from a league that's leading $10 million a year, right? But because they move as a collective, they're able to say, you know, shout out to the commissioner. She was like, you know what? There are social issues that are important to our players as people. How asinine would it be as a league to assume that these people to them and we as a league not support them in that? It just makes sense. You know, just like my job, my day job, if I say, hey, this is a story I really want to do because it's important to me because of this, I'm empowered to do so because I am valued as a human being within that organization. So when you have people who understand that, hey, my plight in life is much better because of money than someone else's is, but let me see how I can help. I think for all of us, if our goal is not to leave this world a little bit better than we found it, then what are you doing?
Running the field right now is Jackie Ray, our regular contributor and commentator, as we talk about sports and society, how they intersect. It's more of beyond the gospel with Jackie Ray in just a moment. You keep it right here. It's Liberal with Mo Kelly. KFI 40 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app now, to the KFI 24-hour news on the Amy.
LA Mayor Bass and County Supervisor Lindsay Horvath have joined the Planned Parenthood of LA and denouncing a federal judge's ruling that throws out FDA approval of a commonly used abortion pill. Bass and Horvath say they'll work to keep the city and county as safe havens for women seeking access to reproductive health care. One of the two Democratic lawmakers kicked out of the House last week for a gun violence protest on the House floor has been voted back in. The National Council voted to reinstate him. A meeting is planned Wednesday to decide whether the other lawmaker will also be reappointed. Thanks to a resurgence of zooplankton, Lake Tahoe is the cleanest it's been since the 1980s. The zooplankton, which was kind of wiped out by shrimp, are back and cleaning the water again. Visibility is rated about 10 feet deeper than it was in just 2021. Low clouds and fog overnight and tomorrow morning, then sunny with highs between 70 to low 80s. We've got crash in the city on the 10th.
Eastbound is after Western. It looks like it's been moved out of the two left lanes along the right shoulder now. Traffic is recovering from Washington Boulevard You'll see delays on the 101 southbound in Hollywood as you approach Melrose. That stays pretty slow up until you get to the 110. And on the 215 heading southbound to Riverside, watch for delays. As you come across University, that'll start to ease out for you once you get to Central. Clear by you get to the 110. And on the 215 heading southbound to Riverside, watch for delays. As you come across University, that'll start to ease out for you once you get to Central. Clarify in the sky helps get you there faster. I'm Pedro Moreno. This report is sponsored by Stand Up to Cancer. Mailbox of Johnson Homes welcoming you back to the City Center Convenience Mart. Uh-oh, he's looking at the cigarettes, but he just grabs the job off the counter. Stand Up to Cancer and Rally want you to reduce your risk for cancer. Go to takeahealthystand.org. How much do you think your home is worth this year? Do you think it's going to be worth the same next year? If you're thinking about borrowing on your home equity, your odds of getting more out of your home is probably higher now than it will be next year. I certainly believe that. Some experts predict that property values might decline over the next few years, making it more challenging for borrowers to tap into that home equity. If you need $75,000 or more, HMS Capital can help you borrow the money you need with the equity you built. So whether you want to consolidate debt, make home improvements, or whatever your situation may be, HMS Capital may have the best solution to help you. No appraisal, credit report fees to apply. I've done 2 mortgages with HMS Capital. Clearly, I'm a fan. I believe they are simply the best at what they do. Call 833-255-5698, 833-255-5698. Visit hmscapital.com. iHeart Podcast is excited to welcome Jay Shetty to the iHeart family. Tune into On Purpose with Jay Shetty, the hit podcast where the former mom shares fascinating conversations with insightful people and investigates ways to live life today on purpose. Try something new. When was the last time you did something for the first time with your partner? We're used to watching them do the same things, do the same activities. Let's see them do something fresh and new. Listen to On Purpose with Jay Shetty on the iHeart Radio app or wherever you get your podcasts. Still waiting for your employee retention tax credit. This 2 credit shows the government may be slow, but small business can't. Our ERTC loan offers cash now for your tax credit with funding in as little as 72 hours. ERTC loans keep your business going with interest-only payments for up to 12 months. For more info, call 800-381-0187. That's 800-381-0187. And go to big2credit.com/ERTC loans for full terms and conditions. If you're selling your house, visit directbuyers.com. It's the hassle-free way to sell your house without an appraisal, no repairs, no commissions, just paying cash in 10 days or less. Go to directbuyers.com or call 844-242-SELL. Are you feeling overwhelmed after a serious truck accident? The legal dream team at Jacoby & Myers is here to take the weight off your shoulders. We specialize in these complex cases and will work heavy lifting for you. Jacoby & Myers, justice for you since 1972. Losing air conditioning on a hot summer day can be a sweaty old nightmare, and no one wants that, Jack. Help your air conditioner last longer and reduce breakdowns with a rejuvenation. One is 6 critical adjustments so you'll stay cool, use less energy, and increase the life of your system. We'll clean the outdoor coils for $129. Gale Air Conditioning and Plumbing. RealEastCCL.com. We'll keep you cool, but it's hard to sell. License number 1047-781.
Seriously, Mike, you just fix the pencil again.
We all know how easy it can be to go to the wrong place for transmission repair. Made up of over 800 pieces, the transmission is the most complex part of your car. So bring it to the transmission expert at AMCO. AMCO, always the right fit. AA, MCO. Special financing available. Restrictions, limitations, and exclusions may apply. See AMCO.com for complete details. After all the rainfall, we have this super bloom. Go out there and check out the flowers. And the pictures that you're about to see are breathtaking. Great for radio, by the way. All right, you guys have seen this. I didn't see it on radio, but man, it's unbelievable. The Bay family drove 3 hours. I don't know about a 3-hour drive, though, this year. Christine Conway Jr. show. There's Conroy's down the block. Live 4 to 7 p.m. on KFI. And on demand anytime on the iHeart Radio app. It's regular motel. It's terrified in the recording. We're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. People are angry. People are upset.
I guess I'm doing my job.
Well, this is my thing. We tackle uncomfortable conversations.
Right.
And I don't need people to agree or disagree, but I do need people to at least know their facts when they want to come at me and you and say, that's not true. Oh no, yes it is true. You know, we're not making up things as far as history or reparations. And I understand these can be highly unique. But there are some things which cannot be argued that sports have always been the rallying point for positive change in this country. I can tell you all the stories of suffrage and how circus performers and women got on bicycles and cyclists around the country. It didn't involve African Americans, but it was still a part of suffrage. We all know about the Civil Rights Act. We know about Jesse Owens and the Berlin Olympics. Sports has always been the rallying point. The question is whether we're okay with everyone using their sports silos to forward their beliefs, be it in Donald Trump or anyone else, or is it only reserved for a certain segment of society, or is it only reserved for a certain segment of society? Does LeBron James have to shut up and dribble, as he's been told, where Robert Kraft can do what he wants?
Exactly.
Or is it, are we going to have an honest conversation? And I hope we can have an honest conversation, because that's what I'm about.
It's difficult to have an honest conversation when people honestly want to pretend like they don't know the facts of the situation. They honestly want to pretend like systemic racism, even overt in your face racism is still not. It's difficult to have those types of honest conversations with people who don't operate in the spirit of honesty.
And here's my thing. It's one thing to agree. It's another thing to be part of some people who are on Twitter. And I think
then that's more of a reflection on the hate that you have in your heart. But the reality of it is, we see this time and time again. I saw so many people hop on to Enes Kanter's bandwagon when he was talking about LeBron James and the fact that he has this deal with Nike, and then Nike has all these truck shops and things of that nature. And then when I posted, he probably really should. I'm not upset with anybody having a fight that they want to kind of come up against, especially if it's a human fight. I don't have a problem with that. However, there's a couple of things that don't match up in this situation. Number one, LeBron James is a black man. If you don't understand how China treats black people, then this probably isn't a conversation for you. If you're going to stand out on an NBA court without taking a stand and saying, I'm not going to wear Nikes even though I'm contractually obligated to do so, there's probably a conversation.
Let's stop and pull back. And I would like to say this about Enes Kanter, and I appreciate his desire to help people right where he was.
Absolutely.
I would want the same latitude and respect for LeBron James, who's going to help people right where he is. If he's going to build an icon school in Ohio, I would support that. I would support Enes Kanter helping people in Turkey right where he is. I don't think Enes Kanter Freedom, his real last name now, his team last name, has any right to tell someone else what their advocacy should be. I wouldn't want LeBron James telling Enes Kanter, now you're in America, you need to fight for this or fight for that.
But if LeBron did, there would be an uproar. But there was no uproar in the reverse.
I know, and sometimes, well, I should say, many times, we like affirmation, not information. We want confirmation, motivation, or agitation. And I'm not trying to be funky with my words, but that's what it comes down to. A lot of times, we're okay with advocacy so long as it doesn't irritate the need portion of it. So we're going to still have these complicated conversations, but as we move forward, and I'm quite sure the LeBron Jameses and the Enes Kanters of the world are not going to shut up and dribble as it were And I know that Robert Kraft is not going to stop using his money in the way that he sees fit, and the WNBA is going to continue in the way they collectively see fit. Is sports doing its job at this point? Yes, it's entertainment, but also it opens the mind of the larger society. Is it still doing that, or is it doing something? I'm going to the other side of the argument. Is it doing more that pushes us into our silos? Because I can make the argument, yes, nice that sports figures speak out, but I'm not so sure they're actually changing anything because I think they settle a little too much onto social media as opposed to getting their hands dirty.
I think there's a conversation around that. Who that's one of the things. Damian Lillard, one of my favorite players, also a great rapper. He actually goes out. You see him all the time. There's a lot of players in NBA specifically that don't just talk about it; they are about it, and they go out there and they do the work. I think sometimes when you're an athlete, though, it might be a little bit easier to try to empower others to do that because you are a public figure and going out into these public settings when people are completely crazy right now might not seem like the safest thing to do. So you might, instead of getting your hands dirty, you might want to just build a pool. Um, you might want to have, water drives for Michigan. I've seen some people on the Detroit Pistons do that. So you don't have to necessarily be in the thick of it, but I do think you should put your money where your mouth is if you're talking about any type of social or political change.
Guys, you ready? Give out the social media. Come on with it.
Some of you are already on it, but in case you need it again, it is Jackie Ray TV, JACKIERABTV.
And if you come at me with this silliness, be ready for it.
Yeah, I got time.
Don't come with a fake profile. Come with your real name, your real face, and we can have a real conversation.
Yeah.
But if you just want to throw insults, then, oh well, I got no time for you.
Right.
But we can talk. We can work through this. It's later with Mo Kelly. KFI AM 640. We're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Now let's look at the KFI 24-hour newsroom and anything.
Leaders in LA County spoken out against a federal judge's decision to overturn the FDA's approval of a highly used abortion drug.
This abortion is the most commonly used method of abortion in the country. County Supervisor Holly Mitchell was one of several leaders to criticize the reversal. He says the decision is a disgrace
and has no immediate impact on abortion and reproductive health services here in Los Angeles County.
The lawsuit the judge ruled on alleged the FDA's approval of mifepristone did not adequately refute safety risks. The judge put a 7-day stay on his decision Friday so the federal government could appeal it. LA County leaders did so process plays out. In LA, was trolling KFI News.
A new bill in LA County to protect undocumented immigrants from being deported if they come forward with information about crime. DA George Gascon introduced the bill and says far too often undocumented people are afraid to report crimes because they're afraid of being deported. This immigration status should never be a barrier to safety. Crimes under the measure include extortion, domestic violence, and stalking. The bill also got support from advocacy groups in the Asian American community. The LA County Sheriff's Department says scammers pretending to be deputies are pressuring people to pay for fraudulent violations.
The department says the scammers tell the person they owe money for things like a jury summons or an outstanding warrant. Then they threaten to have them arrested if they don't pay up in a very short amount of time. Like larger scamming operations, this one also relies on gift cards, prepaid credit cards, even Bitcoin. The department says if you get such a call, hang up and report it to the real sheriff's department. The department says it never asks for money on the phone, and if the scammers give you a number to verify, don't call it. It's just another scam. Speak correctly. KFI News.
The CDC has issued a warning for clinicians and public health departments in the U.S. to be on the lookout for cases of a rare Ebola-like virus. Last week's warning comes in response to outbreaks of Marburg virus disease, one in Equatorial Guinea and the other in Tanzania, with neither country reporting outbreaks before this year. No cases that might come into the country. Bees tend to pollinate blooming almond orchards. It's taken longer than usual to emerge from their hives because of chilly temperatures, wind, and rain across California. Almond growers say it's too soon to know if the delay is going to hurt the state's nut crop, which the Almond Board of California says makes up about 80% of the world's almonds. The state almond board says it's possible there will be fewer nuts this year than last because of a reduction in almond acreage following 3 years of drought and intense winter. Southland weather from KFI mostly clear early with lows in the upper 40s to mid-50s and low clouds forming overnight. Clearing tomorrow and we'll see mostly sunny skies after the low clouds clear out. Highs in the 60s to mid-70s with the beaches, Metro LA, and Window Sea. 70 to low 80s for the valleys, Inland Empire and Antelope Valley. About 5 to 10 degrees cooler Wednesday and Thursday, then warming back up with sunny skies for the weekend. It's 58 in Anaheim, 54 Redondo Beach. Back in mid-city on the 10.
We're going to be heading east down that Vermont Avenue. It looks like it's along the right shoulder, but it's causing some spectator traffic from western Hollywood on the 101 southbound. Delays showed up once you get to Melrose Avenue. It starts to clear up once you get to the 110. And on the 710 southbound in Vail, that's just before Florence, watch out for a wreck that's in the center divider, causing some stop-and-go traffic as you come across that lamppost. Natify in the sky helps get you there faster. I'm Pedro Moreno. What do you mean I can't light up spray cans, wayfarers, and dolphin shorts? Those are the tools of my trade. Now get top reasons to visit the leader.
That's right. Right, May 26th. Get tickets now.
Number 2.
Because Russell feathers out. Find the food for today.
And the number 1 reason.
Here's the thing. More people agree Morongo is the best place for a good time.
Morongo, good time. Hey, it's Team Shark with the unfiltered truth about water softening. They don't filter your water. There's a better solution. Light Source whole house water system. Light Source gives you filtered, delicious drinking water from every tap. No filters, change, no salt, no servicing, and now on a 800-803-2696, 800-803-2696, or visit lightsourcewater.com. Hey, like my new bike? I thought you were buying a car. I tried. There's no availability. Look, I'm in the right place. Local.com has cars. Really? Tons of them. And at great prices. Check Loto on your phone. Wow, that's a lot of cars. Didn't they take a trade-in for a bicycle? It's brand new. Okay, probably.
The wait is over. New info app. Or check out ROTHSCHILD.com.
Come to Dodger Stadium when the Cubs and Mets visit starting Friday, April 14th through Wednesday, April 9th to start their season off strong and get to the ballpark to cheer on the boards and glitter. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/tickets.
Could we use monthly payments to help me pay the bills? What's putting food on the table, paying the rent, or buying new shoes for groceries to help me pay the bills? What's putting food on the table, paying the rent, or buying new shoes for groceries? Find out about supplemental security income. You may qualify if your income and financial resources are low and you're 65 or older, or an adult or child with a disability or who's blind. Call 1-800-772-1213 or go to ssa.gov/SSI. Produced by Social Security, U.S. Taxpayer Expense.
Schedule a home fire safety check for just $77 with Root the Hero Plumbing and Air. KFI has your inflation compensation with $1,000 from 6 a.m. through 7 p.m. Just look at the keywords, then enter it at KFIAM640.com/cash. No texting, just winning. Powered by Sweet Games Accident Attorney. If you've ever been accident, winning is everything. Call the winning attorney this Sweet Games. 1-800-9-MILLI. That's 1-800-AM640. More stimulating talk. KFI AM 640. We're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Some of the stories that we're following in KFI 24-hour news, and of course we're following the events in Louisville, the mass shooting earlier today. We are now up to 5 victims who were killed today, and we will find out more about this employee/former employee, bank employee, who committed the shooting. We're not exactly sure the reasons behind it, but we're continuing to follow it. And also, FBI is warning, don't use free public phone charging stations. You may have a word or two about that later in the show. But I wanted to just very quickly comment about the last 2 seconds I was having with Jackie Ray. I have a very open studio. I ask open-ended questions, and I ask her opinion. And that's what it was. And if you want to disagree with that, I encourage you to disagree with it. You can always reach out to me. We can have a respectful conversation at Mr. Mokelly, MrMokellY. It's got to be respectful, and it's got to be grown in nature, because I think that we're capable of that. And we can disagree without being disagreeable, as they say. Now, there are things that she says that I don't necessarily agree with, but just because you mention the word black, it doesn't mean that it's racist in nature. And as we talk about the uncomfortable history of the intersection of sport and society, I think we can learn from it. I think we can grow from it. And I don't apologize for that, and I don't retreat from it. We can have these conversations. And, and part of the reason why I give out my Twitter is so you can be heard. Not just so you can insult people, but you can be heard. That's why I read the truth on this. That's the whole point of having a discussion. So I can hear from you. You can also hear from me on subjects that may be uncomfortable in nature. And I know that, but I think we can do that. Or maybe you can't, then I'll just have to block it. But, it's probably one or the other. We can have an adult conversation, a grown conversation, or we can have an immature conversation and we'll just move on. But you know what? Come Monday, that's the way to do that. And we'll talk about more uncomfortable issues. Now, Los Angeles startup wants fuel cells to power next generation of carbon-free jet travel. Universal Hydrogen, which counts Harrison Ford as a hangar neighbor at Hawthorne Municipal Airport, which is literally 2 minutes from where I live, replaced the jet's Wright turbine engine with a 1 megawatt powertrain fueled entirely by a hydrogen fuel cell. Fuel cells operate similarly to electric batteries, but are much lighter, which is key for flight. And rather than needing to be charged, these fuel cells are fed energy-rich hydrogen gas to generate electricity, emitting only water vapor along the way. And I know we talked to Mark Collier about this, and how this might be a more viable form of green technology, if you will, than just the electrical batteries, the electric cars which we see right now. Now, I don't know how far away this is actually usable in large scale. For me, it's always about infrastructure. We can talk about electric cars all day, but if there's not infrastructure to support it, particularly in California, the Gavin Newsom's initiative to have no gasoline cars like there to support it under this. Now, this may be a great idea for fuel cells to be the next generation of carbon-free jet travel, but we got to see it in actual use. We have to think, if you were to start having planes using this on a regular basis and people can see it and people can apply it to their daily lives like we would see the electric car out on the road, then it may change the perception. Then there may be some interest which could be generated, no pun intended, which we could then start having a conversation of integrating it into society in an infrastructure in a foundational way. But until we do, we're just experimenting with technology. But that's where all great technology comes from. Every great leap that we see from, our childhood to now comes from someone saying, hey, let's try to do this thing that's impossible. It starts there until it becomes a reality. Now, this being right in your backyard, that's why they felt like, man, like Mo lives around the corner from this place. Okay, they're literally starting to teach in your neighborhood. I'll give you a perfect example. I think it's a perfect example. I think everyone can understand. Remember when you had 3 choices for video at home? You had VHS, you had data, and you had Laserdisc. Now, Laserdisc was the best technology because it was digital in nature. It didn't degrade like a VHS or a beta tape. It was like a giant CD. Yes, it did. And data was a higher visual quality than VHS. So which was the one that stuck? VHS. Because in an infrastructure standpoint, in other words, the VHS machines were much more everywhere. You could find them everywhere. Video stores were more likely to carry VHS tapes as opposed to beta. That's what I mean by like infrastructure. If you can make it convenient for customers, I remember we had data in my house, and far too often we would go to the local video store, and we were hard pressed to find a movie in beta as opposed to VHS. So it's like, well, Dan, we just have to get a VHS because we want to be able to just do what everyone else is doing. And it's fine to close the circle on this analogy, it's fine that this may be a superior technology to the electric battery fuel cell that we know of right now. But if it doesn't have that availability that these other technologies have, then it's all for naught. No, that's what I'm saying though. This is not as a bridge for you and I. This is something that they're looking to entice airlines, manufacturers of planes, and saying, hey, we've got something that will not be introduced to electric car technology. Well, we have a bunch of which are cost incentive. That's what the government would have to get in and make it more appealing like we did with the electric car. I'm just saying, sorts of instances and examples where superior never got off the ground. Again, I'm not trying to make you fun, but they never got off the ground because there wasn't the infrastructure or the governmental support to encourage not only cities but people and municipalities to really lean into the technology. Because no one can really debate whether electricity is a cleaner form of a power source than fossil fuel. There's no debate there. The debate is whether it can function in a way where it is convenient enough, accessible enough, and can fit our lifestyle enough. Outside of range anxiety. And can I charge my car and not have to wait 45 minutes to an hour, as opposed to going to a gas station. I can gas up in 3 minutes, literally, and be out the door. This is something that Governor Newsom and California, just as the state, would absolutely get behind. The idea of offering incentives for airlines to convert. They're not saying you got to build entirely new hydrogen operated planes. You can convert your engines, install these engines, take out those old gas guzzling clunkers, and put in these. The incentives alone that you could offer airlines operating out of California with Northrop Grumman and all these different airline places in California, it's a win-win. Well, someone is going to have to be willing to take the first step. So someone's going to have to do the major contract to be able to show, look, I believe more in an electric car when I see it on the road. Or I have a friend who has one and they can personally recommend it. If we want to start traveling by these types of planes and technology, and we can firsthand have some sort of word of mouth experience and reviews, yeah, then that will change. But nothing will change until that time, because we don't care until we can actually see it in our lives on a day-to-day basis. Going back to Laserdisc, Beta, and VHS. Beta was the inferior technology. Laserdisc was the superior technology. Laserdisc is a trivia question answer now. It's later with Mo Kelly. KFI AM 640, we're live everywhere. On the iHeartRadio app now, it goes to the KFI 24-hour news on the 18th.
A second exhibit jellyfish has been walking shore by the hundreds on Huntington Beach, Zuma, Manhattan, and Salt Street beaches. Officials say they look like a mini man-o-war, but they're not. They're called Valala Valala. They do seem, though, officials are warning not to pick them up because of minor irritation. Prayer vigils have been held at multiple Louisville churches after 5 people were killed and several others were injured in a shooting at a bank this morning. Police say officers exchanged fire with the shooter who was killed. Even officials say there are plans to have a community-wide prayer vigil. Officer Hawks has begun his new job with the Yuba City Police Department. The little brown and white rabbit was found wandering has touched over. Someone in the police department adopted him, and now the department has announced that Officer Hawks will be an emotional support.
Feel the green. Now, most supplements out there, if you can't get it right, they are lesser in nature. They use the extracts of fruits and vegetables. You don't agree, which uses real fruit and veg extract. I use it daily, and I swear by it. I use 1 scoop in a beverage of my choice. Now, each ingredient in Silver Green scientifically chosen to support organs like my heart, lungs, kidneys. I'm feeling better, and best of all, Silver Green is backed by a better health promise. If your doctor doesn't tell you your numbers have improved at your next checkup while you can use your Silver Green, just forget it. Return it all for a full refund if you can't beat that guarantee. So let me get you started with 15% off your first order at silvergreens.com. All you have to do is use the promo code AFI. Again, that's silvergreens.com. Don't forget the promo code AFI.
Low clouds and fog overnight and tomorrow morning, then sunny with highs in the 70s to low 80s. Got a crash in Belgardens on the 710.
Southbound just before Florence. But ignore the right lane so your drive starts to jam up as you approach Atlantic. You'll see some flowing here on the 10 heading eastbound in Mid-City. That's once you get to Normandy. That starts to clear up for you once you get to the 110. And also on the 10 heading eastbound in Beaumont. There's a work zone. 3 left lanes closed off in between the 60 and Highland Springs Avenue. That's set to reopen for you at 6:30 tomorrow morning. You're currently seeing some traffic as you approach the 60. KFI in the Sky helps get you there faster. I'm Pedro Moreno. This report is sponsored by Buffalo Wild Wings. Looking for a late night spot to get the crew together? 3 words, Buffalo Wild Wings. They've got drinks and apps starting at $4 from 10 p.m. to close. Eat up, where late night food and drinks start at $4. Cheers to that. They've got a participating location. Drop it in the tag right there. Drink responsibly. For your brand, it's got to be extra. iHeart Podcast is excited to welcome Jay Shetty to the iHeart family. Tune into On Purpose with Jay Shetty, the hit podcast where the former mom shares fascinating conversations with insightful people and investigates ways to live life today on purpose. Try something new. When was the last time you did something for the first time with your partner? We're used to watching them do the same things, do the same activities. Let's see them do something fresh and new. Listen to On Purpose with Jay Shetty on the iHeart Radio app or wherever you get your podcast. And if you're tired of that old car sitting in the driveway, I have the perfect spring cleaning solution. Thousands of people have saved hours of time and hassle by donating their car to Cars for Kids. Just call 1-877-CARS for Kids or visit the website carsforkids.org. You're going to pick up your car. It takes about 2 minutes to schedule. And you're going to get a tax deduction plus a free vacation voucher. I'm Martin Hope, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I love Navage. I told you about how your nose is the body's air filter. This Navage's power suction will help flush out allergies, viruses, mucus, and germs. And that Navage will help you breathe better. But what do other people say about Navage? Like Tara, quote, my doctor wanted me to do saline rinses for my allergies, but I've never been able to successfully use a neti pot. Navage uses suction power, so it's foolproof. They're nice when I'll have particularly bothersome allergies. I'll bust it out, and the results are immediate. It's such a relief. It's become a lifesaver. Unquote. He's one of over 100,000 online reviews praising Navage. The all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million people to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Target, Rite Aid, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life. Portions of the following program will be recorded. AI can quickly pass the ball with a 90% pass rate, which is not even close to what the super said. AI is changing everything. Hello, the AI replacing us. Zero handle. Hello, my name is Bill. Hello, my name is Bill. Okay, it's live 6 to 9 a.m. on KFI and on demand anytime on the iHeart Radio app. We're live everywhere on the iHeart Radio app and the KFI roll call. I want you to reach out to me at KFI Answers 40 at Mr. Moselli on Twitter. Let us know where you're listening, how you're listening. And here are some of the people who are in class, as they say, as the KFI roll call rolls on. At Carl Graphic Guy says he's listening, but meanwhile, he can't get a signal, cell signal going through the Whittier Hills. Hang in there, Carl. I know that you're a long-time listener, but, you have the iHeart Radio app. You also have, well, if you can't get a cell signal, you can listen terrestrial radio. KFI can be heard in some 14 different states at night. But I know you know that, so hang on in there. Great in Sun Valley says, at Mr. Moselli, in the car, in the 818. He's listening on the radio. Thank you, Greg. This comes from Aaron Sons. At Mr. Moselli, listening every night from the road in Alabama. Currently traveling for work in Pensacola, Florida. Great subject matter. Shout out to T and the team. Next one comes from K Morgan 955. I know. And I'm not mad at him for not even trying. Hell, I still call him T. I know how to spell it, but I don't begrudge someone by saying T. But you're probably correct. You're probably right. Come from Ken Morgan. Says, Ken Morgan listening in Silver Lake, listening on iHeart Radio, and Johnny McKinley listening on KFI 640 AM in Valley Village. You are the best, my brother. That comes from Johnny McKinley. So keep your tweets coming at if I is supporting at Mr. Mo Kelly, and let's keep it going. And Koala, I have a little phone to pick with you. And you know why? I was listening Saturday during Soul Cow Saturday. I was listening, but I was minding my own business. And then I realized, for some reason, people were tweeting me. People were tweeting me and using your name. I don't know if they thought that I was on the air Saturday night between 5 and 7, or they didn't know your social media and they wanted to backdoor you by just going through me. So I was listening then to the next few segments, and then come to find out that you had set me up. What did you do, Koala? And I did not think that people were actually going to get. Oh, come on. While I'm on air, I can't even remember what we were talking about, but I said, if you want to, that was us. I said, if you want to let us know what your future plans are, hit me directly on Twitter at Mr. M-O-K-E-L-L-Y on Twitter. Let me know what your plans are. Now, you may not know this, when we did the Mo Kelly show on weekends, Koala refused to get out of social media. And he would say some stuff that would just get people mad. And then he'd say, he doesn't get out of social media. But they know how to hit me. So I would receive all the mail, if you will, which was back when we had the Mo Kelly show. People, for some reason, couldn't differentiate between your voice and mine. I don't know why. We don't sound alike here. We don't look alike, for that matter. But for some reason, on those Saturday nights, those Sunday nights, when you're filling in for me, they just assumed it was me, or assumed that whatever hit they wanted to send, it was good enough to send to me, and would then find its way to you. And I had to let people know and remind them, we're not the same person. So, you can go ahead and send this to him. I get enough from the folks that I actually earn. I have no problem with hearing from people for stuff I actually said. But when people are just thinking we're interchangeable, no, we're not the same person. This time, Larry. Yeah, you can go ahead and give up your social media now. Soul Cow Saturday actually has a Twitter account. Thanks to super producer Kayla. It is at Soul_Cow_Sat. SOUL_Cow_Sat. He says, Miami is in the house. iHeartRadio app, Mo Kelly Cool Cat forever. He says that, Christopher. He still hasn't told me how to pronounce your last name, which is spelled Sawron. Gowron? Solan? Coolin? Christopher, let me know, because I don't like mispronouncing people's names. Now, Paula will mess up somebody's name in a heartbeat, and it's almost like he gets a deer in the middle of the road and just keeps on driving. Yeah, not there. He's not looking back. He's not trying to turn around or anything. I actually care. I like to pronounce people's names correctly. That's just me. So I'm just saying this publicly. I want to go on notice here for everyone to hear, Koala. You got your own social media. You don't need to give out mine anymore. I don't need you to send off your hate mail in my direction. It depends on what I'm saying. If I'm saying something fiery, it's acting. Stop laughing, Stephen. It's not funny.
Okay, but think about it. On Sunday or Saturday, he was saying, "What are you doing for?" And still, so that wasn't late, was it?
Yeah, it wasn't. But I didn't understand why people were hitting me with notes that said "Koala" misspelled in the message. Hey, Koala, yada yada blah blah blah. And they're like, "Why are you tweeting at Mr. Mo Kelly in Koala?" Well, I was like, I'm not on the air. I'm not on the air. I'm not on the air, and I didn't even hear that call out, so I had no idea why people were talking. Because you're supposed to help and did it, okay? They make fun of me a lot, but you're supposed to have my back to a certain degree. I honestly did not think, because I said it in jest. I didn't think that, you worked in this business far too long. People took everything you say behind this microphone seriously. Yeah, they take literally, no matter what it is. I can't, and not only that, I can't tell you how many times people will accuse me of saying something that never came out of my mouth. And I swear for them, he said X, Y, Z. I didn't. I'm positive I heard you. No, you didn't. I have a podcast. It doesn't matter. I know what I heard. What do you mean? Yeah. What do you mean? because many times people hear what they want to hear or they think they heard something. I have no problem standing behind something I actually said. But I'm not responsible for what a guest says. I'm only responsible for what I say. I ask the question, the guest will answer the question, and then we go from there. If there's something you have a problem with me or what I said, feel free. Let's work it out. We can hash it out on Twitter at Mr. Mokelly, MrMokelly. And when we come back at the top of the hour, we're going to get into the all-new HBO Max. It seems like it's going to be renamed, but is that a good thing or a bad thing? We'll talk about it. KFI AM 640, we're live everywhere. It's got it covered.
KFI,
KOST, HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live everywhere on the Radio app.
Employee violence. I'm making a TV live on KFI 24-hour news. Police the person who shot up a bench in Kentucky, killing 5 people and injuring 8 others, was an employee at Old National Bank. Louisville Metro Deputy Police Chief Paul Humphreys' officers found the shooter within 3 minutes of being dispatched this morning.
It is clear from the officer's response that they absolutely saved people's lives. This is a tragic event, but it was the heroic response of officers that made sure that no more people were more seriously injured than what happened.
2 police officers were among those hurt, including one in critical condition. It's brought to you by Rooter Hero. Wastewater facilities been reconstructed in North Hollywood to help during storm and food. The conveyance center has been redeveloped in East San Bernardino Valley, already providing wastewater services in an environmentally friendly way. LA City Council President Paul Krikorian says this is a big milestone in preserving some rainfall, especially since California's most recent storm. The North Hollywood Conveyance Facility is the second of 5 existing centers set for complete reconstruction. Officials are looking for an inmate who walked away from the Prado Conservation Camp in Chino. California Department of Corrections and Rehab says the man was last seen Friday wearing orange pants and a shirt. He's 5'10", 260 pounds, blue eyes and blonde hair. He was admitted from Shasta County in 2019 to serve 5 years for second-degree robbery and assault with a deadly weapon. He was released in 2021, but admitted once again last year for possession of spiritual love. Defenders Omar Rifi says LAPD is increasing patrols around Islamic centers and mosques. Police posted a photo of the guy accused of defacing the building yesterday morning. He's white, about 5'9", and is wearing all black clothing, including a beanie and a jacket. The OC Fire Authority is the first canine peer support dog is signed on to help firefighters cope with traumatic calls.
For decades, firefighters were expected to just tough it out. OCSA Chief Brian Fennessy says firefighters respond to horrible accidents, severe burns, and kids killed, but only recently has mental health been a priority. It's led to depression, and in some years, actually every year for the last few years, firefighters dying by suicide more than in the line of duty. Federal stats show 69% of firefighters report not having enough time to recover between calls, and 65% report being haunted by bad calls. Officials say therapy dogs are a way to reach people before they reach crisis. At OCSA headquarters in Irvine, Corbin Carson, KFI News.
Officials in Nashville have voted to reinstate one of the 2 black Democratic lawmakers expelled by Republicans for their part in a gun control protest. Lawmakers held their first floor session since last week's expulsion vote. Councilmember Novella McCline Page, whose Representative Justin Jones is the best person for the job, and represents his constituents well. Gun control demonstration came just days after 6 people were shot and killed at a private Christian school in Nashville. Oscar Mayer says it's helping couples get married for free in his Oscar Mayer wedding mobile. It says the Wiener Mobile of Love is going to be outside the famous Little White Wedding Chapel in Vegas this Saturday and Sunday. Couples can sign up online and hopefully get a 30-minute time slot. Oscar Mayer is covering the cost of the ceremony, but lovers do need to get their own rides, sleeping arrangements, and marriage licenses. Each ceremony will be officiated by an Oscar Mayer hot dogger, serenaded by a Wiener Whistle Quartet. Southbound Road to East Lake, Metro Valley, and Monroe City, 70 to 80 for the valleys and Monroe Fire and Antelope Valleys, and it's going to cool down by 10 degrees for Wednesday and Thursday. We'll warm back up at 200 degrees when our high stopping out in 70. Between Rosie Boulevard and Finley, on the
rail card and some good news on the ticket. Hey, if I in the sky helps get you there faster from Pedro Moreno. The job is a unique way for you to connect with qualified job seekers. Now, with other hiring sites, you get resumes from candidates who don't meet the criteria, aren't near you, or are hard to reach. JobKit is different. Your top candidates already have the skills you need. You're only talking to workers in your area, office assistants, managers, cleaning, maintenance, receptionists, sales associates, retail, even organizers. Over 10 times better hiring conversions on JobKit, and you save 20% per job. JobKit.com/handle, JobKit.com/handle.
Do you find yourself stuck in a time? Jeffrey Dowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets to time certain Street doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your time bill. Call now and get time certain
If you get living an accident, this will offer with the experience to win. Two, you'll be admired. More stimulating fun. And you think it's kind of odd because it's one of the most expensive cleaning services. It's $15.99 per month right now. Because it's interesting, I think but I keep holding on to it because, one, I think it's something like that interface. I don't use it that much. And I'm searching for reasons to use it. Like, for example, I was talking about succession earlier, how I got into it. Inside of that, there's not a lot there. And we talked about how intellectual property and TV shows, movies were being removed from HBO Max and moved to other platforms and places. That's two strikes. They raised the first strike for me is this. It seems that future content that is within the Warner Brothers HBO, they're diverting it now, diverting these properties away from HBO Max. Like, wow. Are you serious? I'm being very serious. I'm supposed to do a text chat. I didn't understand what you were saying. I thought it was from it's dropping earlier than we expected. And it's not that it's going somewhere different. It's not going to HBO Max. And not only that, and if you're like a nerd or geek like Koala and me, what is something that is very big in terms of HBO Max and Warner Brothers and anime. You don't like the DC movies. Well, the people that don't like the DC movies usually love the animated universe. They make really compelling animated features. And these are like adult in nature. These are for grown folks. You see like Harley Quinn. And there's all sorts of language and adult themes in it. It goes over there. Well, now it seems like certain titles are being diverted away from HBO Max. So I'm trying to figure this out because the DCEU, the DC Entertainment Universe, is supposed to be under HBO. It's supposed to be under Warner Brothers. But now if they are diverting this content, which I was looking forward to Succession, this is the final season of Succession. So I have temporary reasons to keep HBO Max going forward. Now the difference between HBO and Disney Plus, I think it's scheduling. Because Disney Plus, you know what is coming, consequential each month for a Disney subscriber, Disney Plus subscriber, and it could be a Star Wars Title 1 subscriber to enjoy, and it could be a Star Wars Title 1 month title they mix it up and move it around, or it could be a Pixar release and so forth. There's always something new, and they schedule their releases very wisely in that regard. HBO Max, I don't know what's coming to that streaming platform ever, and there's no timetable.
Or maybe come April 12th, what is that, Wednesday?
Yep.
When they have this grand reveal of what the new HBO Max is going to be, what the name for it. Maybe it will hopefully come with the actual titles and reasons to stick around.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if you can wow me in that regard unless you are going to do what they did back during the pandemic. And to their credit, they had all Warner Brother releases go straight to HBO Max. And even if they were in theaters, they were also released on HBO Max. Now, financially, that did not work for them. And I understand that. But in terms of just supporting the streaming platform, series or series of movies to move on to, then there's no reason for you to just, be taxed $16 a month. I can find somewhere else or some other streaming platform in which to use that. I would much, like, for example, Apple TV. There are more series on Apple TV Plus that I want to see right now than HBO Max. Just from what ABC has been telling us, our friend lives in the freeway, with the Rama Roundtable has been telling us, I would much rather have a platform that I'm more inclined to use than just donating $16 a month and not much using it at all.
And they're actually not giving a choice because after this grand announcement on the 12th, you can no longer just get Max, HBO Max or Discovery. No matter, it's all coming down to one product. You're going to have to subscribe to both to get any. And this is just what it is. And they're talking about trimming even more fat. By the time it isn't looking good. I don't even know what the game plan overall is.
Well, I don't know, but here's something. Give me a new t-shirt each month or something. Maybe we get a bus. Maybe we get a new rim shop that will be from streaming to theaters next. Now, we take like 25 minutes and 80
California has begun stocking up on abortion medication. Governor Newsom announced that it is to deal about 2 million microcrystal pills. Going forward, 5 people shot and killed at a bank in Louisville. A rookie officer who was just sworn in is one of the officers injured. 8 people in all were injured. The shooter was shot and killed by police this morning. Police say the 25-year-old shooter worked at the bank. Metrolink and Amtrak trains are going to start running again this week along separate tracks between Orange and San Diego counties. Services were halted last September after a storm surge caused waves that shifted the tracks near San Clemente. Crews have been working to repair them since then, and service begins again.
Down at Peter, there's a crash blocking the middle lane. That's probably some traffic goes away from Riverside Avenue. KFI in the sky helps get you there faster. I'm Pedro Moreno.
This report is sponsored by Albertsons and Vines. It's not too late to get a flu shot. Vines and Albertsons pharmacies make it easy. They're free with most insurance, and walk-ins are welcome. Or skip the line by making an appointment online. Restrictions apply. Visit the pharmacy for details.
With car prices at an all-time high, our donors are now getting higher frequency.